Good morning, everybody. How is everybody today? Um, I am so enthused over this Casey Anthony trial. I haven't been able to see all of it per se because it started on Tuesday. Opening statements started on Tuesday while I was at work, and I so wanted to see those opening statements. But anything that you miss, they're gonna show over and over on CNN, and that's okay too. I like that. Not sure when or if Cindy Anthony is going to take the stand, they said. But if she does, that would be very interesting. And I just hope, well, I was hoping it was going to be today because I'm off. But if she does, I feel sure I'll probably be at work when that one happens. Casey Anthony's attorney, Jose Baez, says that the reason that Casey never reported Kaylee missing is because Kaylee was never missing. That Kaylee drowned in the family swimming pool. And that Casey came home and found her father with dead Kaylee in his arms. Well, then she claims that her father molested her and that Lee, her brother, molested her. And in the way they tell it, it could be true. But yet, on the other hand, some of the things just kind of throw the whole theory out because she was talking to, she had supposedly told a friend that her brother Lee would come into her bedroom while he thought she was asleep and fondle her breast. And then she went and told the friend, I think my dad used to do the same thing. I think my dad used to do the same thing. So that meant she wasn't sure. Yet Jose Baez says when she was 8 years old that she would have her father's penis in her mouth and then go to school and act like nothing happened. So if she can remember details like that, she can't remember whether her daddy came into her room and tried to play with her titties and that was the least of her problems. So that kind of throws that theory out. I'm not real sure about that one now. Then they was talking about Lee probably did molest her because he took a paternity test after Kaylee was born. Well, as it come out, some of the molestation theories was out there and said that Lee took a paternity test to exclude himself so that people would quit saying that they believed he was the father. So, not sure how that one's going to play out in the courtroom. And another thing, with this court case going on, Lee Anthony has not been in the courtroom, and I don't know why. Cindy and George Anthony are there, but Lee Anthony is not there. So, not sure why. But it is indeed a very interesting case. Now, I'm not sure if I don't think she'll get the death penalty. If she is guilty, I don't think she'll get the chair. I don't think she'll get the death penalty. But in a way, I think she might end up walking because they won't be able to prove that she did it. So, but you know what disturbs me is Jose Baez, her lawyer. He gets on my last nerve. He is one reason that. Now I love to watch the case, but when he gets up there to answer the questions, I'd get so tired of him repeating the same thing over and over and over. And then standing there fumbling through his papers and stuff. And then after he fumbles for about a minute through his papers, we'll look back up at the witness and ask the same question he just asked. He might word it a little bit different, but he'll ask the same thing. Now, either because he don't really know what he's doing or he's trying to trip somebody up and hopes if he asks them the same thing over and over and over that they'll come up with a different answer. I don't know. But why can't any of the other defense lawyers, there's a team of defense lawyers, why can't any of them get up and ask questions? Why does he always have to be the one to ask? He makes me, he rattles my nerves just the way he goes on and on over the same thing. Like yesterday when George Anthony was on the stand and he kept asking him about those damn gas cans, and the judge even told him, you cannot ask him about this gas can in that picture because it is not in evidence. And I'll be damned if he didn't turn around and ask him about it again. So then they had to take a sidebar. It just got on my nerves. But anyway, what about the weather and all these tornadoes that are going on? It's just spooky. is really, really scary for the fact being that I'm just afraid, it makes you, I've always been scared of storms anyway. But now it makes me sometimes think anytime a storm hits, are we going to be next? Because the small town of Pulaski got hit, and that's where my brother lives, and that's in the mountains. Pulaski, I mean, tornadoes don't go out there, but it did. And so we had a pretty bad storm the other night now, and it knocked a lot of power out around here in Greensboro and High Point. And thank you, Jesus, I slept through it. And I'm surprised about that. I'm shocked that I slept through it because the wind usually just wakes me up. But I slept through this storm. And the next morning, Joe called, and he's like, how'd you like that storm last night? I said, what storm? And he couldn't believe I slept through it, and neither could I. But I'm glad. Or I would have been panicked, and I would have been up, and I'd been pacing back and forth and ended up in my laundry room. I always end up in my laundry room. And I don't know why. But that's where I always end up. Anyway, there was one more thing I want to talk about that I just heard on the news. Not sure where this is at, and I'm going to have to Google it and look it up because I didn't get a whole lot of the information. But this man and woman were married, and the man died. The man got sick and died. And he had his wife, of course, as a beneficiary, and he had $1 million or $2 million insurance policy. It was in the millions. And but the wife will never see any of that money. His mother went to court and sued because she wanted that money, and the courts gave her the money over the wife. How can that be, you ask? Well, not sure what state that's in, but she went to court, and she was able to prove that her daughter-in-law was a transgender. That when her son and this woman got married, that she was still technically a man when they married, and the court says that state does not recognize same-sex marriage, and since they were both the same sex when they married, that the marriage was null and void, and that his insurance policy would go to his next of kin, which was his mother. So that's how that happened. Now, do you agree with that? Yes or no? I don't really agree with that at all. I think that you should be able to make anybody you want the beneficiary of your money, your insurance policy. Yeah, you don't. I mean, you shouldn't have to be married to him. Maybe he should have had a will and specified that in the event of his death, he wanted that to go to this particular person. Maybe that's how he should have stated that. But that's what's happening in the news. And anyway, that's about all I have to talk about today. I just got on here and babbled a little bit before I go and do my laundry and make my lunch and vacuum the floors and dust the furniture and blah, 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 blah. And it is the Memorial Day weekend. And all I'm going to do is work. We've been short at work anyway. And now we just had another one to quit. And she was the new girl. She's been there maybe a week. Matter of fact, she started last Friday, a week ago today, I think. Because I was off on the day she started. And I met her last weekend when she worked. And they said she just walked out yesterday. She said that something other about her feet hurt. Well, when you're up on your feet for 8 hours on concrete floors, yeah, they're going to hurt. Everybody's feet hurts in there, but not everybody walks off the job. So, apparently, she just doesn't want to work. Anyway, so that's about all I got to talk about today. And until next time, bye-bye.